So what is up, YouTube? This is going to be my review of my Mark 18 and what I've done to it so far. It's going to be your pretty generic, typical Mark 18, but you gotta do one if you own it. So I figured, why not give it a shot? So starting off, it is safe and clear. Just for everyone wondering, I just have it in here because it does look good for the video. Like I said, in typical fashion, we're going to go to tip to butt. So first, starting off with the can I have on here is an Otter Creek Polonium K. Honestly, I was between that and the Surefire RC2, and starting off again, this is not clone specific, this is just how I like it and how I run it. So for everyone saying, no, this is not clone specific, this is just how I run my rifle. Moving on, I went with the Polonium K just because I did obviously want a smaller can. This rifle is really heavy to begin with, so cutting weight was honestly kind of a focus that I wanted to. And this can performs phenomenal for the price. So like I said, I'll keep going and then I'll get into that a little bit later. But so Otter Creek Polonium K, I'm running a Reardon Atlas 2 on here and a Reardon FHD flash hider. And this combo is phenomenal. I love it. I really couldn't say anything better about it. Moving on, I have a Streamlight ProTac. I was going to get the Surefire Scout, but honestly, for half the price, I just couldn't justify spending it. I'd rather just put my money elsewhere. That's not saying that Surefire isn't great. It's just, they're phenomenal. It's just, I figured that, you really can't go wrong with Streamlight either. Then moving on, I have a little bit of goon tape, I'm sorry. I have camo form wrapped around the top of the rail just because the Riz 2 rail, it does get hot. I mean, it doesn't get as hot as M-Lock, but it does get sharp too, I will say. I mean, that's not something that I'm really going to complain about. If you move your hand quick, I mean, I guess it could poke you, but that wasn't my main thing. Just shooting this a lot suppressed, it does get really hot. So to mitigate some of the heat, I wrap it in camo form, and it kind of looks pretty badass too. So that's a plus as well. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm doing it right now. Then I have my BCM foregrip. I know a lot of guys will either run it forward, backwards. There's a whole thing on how the correct way to run it, but I run it like this, and that's how we do it. So let's see. Okay. Then we have the Magpul QD, and I forgot the exact name, but it's the top one. I was gonna go with the Daniel Defense one on the side, but to be honest, I really like how this looks, and it was obviously a lot cheaper too. Daniel's got that name. It's gonna be a little bit more expensive, but this is honestly perfect, and I have no problems. It hasn't moved at all, and it's just basically with the Magpul QD slings as well, like the little swivels. And then this for the sling, I just wanted something pretty minimalistic. This is a Flatline Fiberco, I believe, and it is just your standard AR-15 sling. I have a couple other padded ones like Blue Force Gear, but I just wanted something kind of simple, and this brand is really good, and their customer service is great, the whole nine. So, I mean, what more can you ask for? Then moving on, I have, just the mag, and that's just, why am I blanking? PMags, just the standard. So, as far as BCG, this is just the standard BCG. I was gonna do Sons of Liberty, but I got a stupid good deal on this rifle altogether. I paid, I got a really good deal on it. So I was gonna build it, but I ended up just buying it outright, just because, or pre-built, just because, the way I was gonna cut corners, I'm building it with, I was gonna do the classic Mark 18 upper with a arrow lower, but I figured, honestly, that would just be for another build. I couldn't really pass it up for the price I paid on it. So just your standard, the Mark 18 Daniel Defense BCG. It's great. And nothing changed there. I have an EOTech EXPS3, and it is on a Unity riser. So obviously, if you have a Mark 18, personally, I think you got to be able to rock an EOTech with it. It's just, it's the look. You just got to have it. Yeah, so that's it for the Optic and that. Moving on. I changed out the pistol grip, actually. Daniel Defense comes with that, the rubberized one, and it looks cool, and it's got like the little grooves and cutouts for your fingers. I didn't really mind it, but the thing is like shooting outdoors mainly, even inside in Florida, it's super hot, and my hands sweat really bad. So the rubber actually was making me slip a lot, and I was like, dude, this is kind of annoying. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna change it. So I did. I ended up running a BCM Mod 0 on it. So I swapped that out, and this one is like the thicker one. I think there's like the Mod 3 and Mod 0. I believe this is the 0. I swapped that out, and I totally forgot. You do have to buy your trigger guard with it because Daniel Defense comes with it all as in one. So if you're gonna swap out, most of the time, depending on what pistol grip you want, you're gonna have to buy a trigger guard. So I totally forgot about that, so I did that, and this is just a BCM trigger guard with a BCM Mod 3. Then, moving on, honestly, there's two things, one of the last two things on here that makes the rifle so much more enjoyable to shoot is, one, the Radiant Raptor SD, and I will swear by the Radiant Raptor SD. I know people will run Geisley, some run Arrow. Obviously, people will run the regular SD, but I mean the regular Raptor. But the SD, in my opinion, it cuts out so much of that gas. It is so much easier on the shooter. It's just like I said. Basically, there's cuts in it. Like if you were to take your regular Raptor, it's just, you know, a Radiant Raptor charging handle. This one's the SD, so it has little slits in it. So basically, when you go to shoot and the gas is coming back, instead of going outside where the charging handle is or back at the shooter, it's going to be directed more towards out the port. And honestly, if any of you shot a Mark 18 or anything of a short 5.56, obviously you know the 5.56 was designed around a 20-inch barrel, so you're not really getting full powder burn. So that's why, honestly, the Mark 18, if you cut it in half, you're going to get so much of that blowback. So to mitigate that, I put the Radiant Raptor SD on it. Perfect. It works like a dream. Pairing that with, moving on, I'm not going to, you know, undo it, but I have the Geisley Super 42, the H2 buffer, and this helps cut so much of that gas out as well. It is really, like, I seriously, even shooting indoors, I can't even complain about like gas in the face. I'll get like maybe a little bit, like maybe the first first couple shots, but other than that, like it is completely like if I'm shooting any other thing. And I swear, like a lot of my buddies were complaining about that because they either just didn't do the H2, or you know they wanted to do the stock buffer, or they wanted to do they went with the standard charging handle, which I think is a complete no-go. That's just me personally. So yeah, but like I said, to be completely honest, this is probably one of my favorite guns to shoot, just purely because it's just fun, and the history of the Mark 18 alone, it's awesome. I mean, I really recommend, if you guys have the money or want to build something similar to this or anything like with a short 5.56 build, I really recommend it. Just because, you know, it's not too expensive to shoot. And like I said, it's just fun, and it does everything. This is like a do-it-all kind of rifle, so I really do like it. With it being suppressed, like I said, the only negative, I guess you could say, really, I mean, I guess you could say it's a little gassy, but nothing like crazy to where the point where you're like, oh, dude, I can't shoot this. So, and that also comes with it being suppressed. You're obviously gonna get a little bit more gas in the face being suppressed, but with this Otter Creek's Polonium K, I don't have to do like any tuning with it as well. It just basically comes out of the box and works perfectly, and that's all I really can ask for. So later in the video I'll pop up some clips of me shooting, but I just wanted to do a basic overview of the Mark 18, and if you guys are in the market for one, I really recommend you get one. So I want you guys to, you know, leave in the comments what you guys want me to do next, but I figured that, you know, I just pump out this video quick for you guys, and yeah, so I really appreciate it.